Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel. Tonight, we'll be doing another episode of questions that you want to know the answers to. Tonight, joining me is Robert Clancy, the host of Mindset Reset Show, who will be the voice behind the screen.
Yes, and I've been checking out a lot of the comments and a lot of the questions up on the YouTube channel, and this one comes in from Carlos Nunez, and he wants to know, have you ever had to break blocks of ice or boards on fire, or have you practiced with the Wing Chun wooden dummy that Bruce Lee used in his training?
Okay, let's do part A first. When I was studying in Tung Sudo, we had to break boards a lot, basically for demonstrations. And when I tested for my first black belt, I had to break 3 boards together with 3 people trying to hold them, and I broke them with a jumping sidekick. When I tested for my second degree in Taekwondo, I had to break 2 cinder blocks, no spacers, just break them. And then I did a lot of like kicking breaking, like jumping kicks and spinning kicks for various demonstrations. But the Wing Chun dummy, I haven't really worked a lot with it. I worked a little bit with Sifu Samuel Kwok. And then I was shooting the movie. Actually, we're still shooting it. We haven't finished it yet, The Huntress. And there is a scene in there where I am practicing on the dummy. And I had Carl Tang, master of Wing Chun, show me how to do that. So it's a beautiful style. I enjoyed working on it, and hopefully I will learn a little bit more about it in the future.
Yeah, and actually there's a couple of videos up on the channel that they can see some of the behind the scenes on the Huntress, and on there I know one of them you're talking to him, and you're pretty bruised up from that working with that because you were hitting it pretty hard.
Yeah, interesting, because on the dummy it's like real, just like lightly tapping it, but me being a traditional martial artist, I felt like I had to hit it fast but hard to make it feel like it was strong. So
I think
I beat myself up on that one.
I think you were channeling your Hong Kong days for that one.
Yeah.
Next question comes in from Ronald Satchel, and he said, you were going to get the chance to work with Jackie Chan, and then he got injured on a film a while back, and he said, would you still be willing to work with him, or would you want to work with him?
Oh, absolutely. When I was studying martial arts, especially when I switched to Eagle Claw Kung Fu, my teacher would take us to Chinatown after class every Sunday, and I would see the old Jackie Chan movies. So he's always been like an icon to me, a hero. I loved his movement, and I was so excited. I was going to work on with him Armor of God, and I was going to be the nemesis in it. But he got hurt. I didn't have the chance to do it. I was really disappointed, but I was happy I got to work with Yun Bu, who was equally as great to work with. But I still would love to work with Jackie Chan, so you never know, maybe someday.
All right, Jackie, if you're watching, you guys got to connect together and get a movie going.
Jackie Chan, if you're watching my YouTube channel.
Yeah. Next question comes in from Frank Tell, and he said, would you have loved to be in a traditional Kung Fu movie like the Shaw era?
I've always loved them because that's what my teacher used to take me in Chinatown to see. And when I did my first movie, which was Yes, Madam, I thought that's what I was doing. I thought it was going to be period China. I thought I would be dressed in Chinese clothes. I thought I would have a braid, a long black braid, and have razor blades in it, and I'd be twirling it around. And when I found out that it was an English movie and it was modern day, I never saw a Hong Kong movie like that. I was quite shocked, and I was like, oh no, I wanted to wear the Chinese costumes and, do the whipping with my hair. So I would love to do that. I don't think they do too many of it nowadays, but boy, yeah, I would love to be in a period film, whether it's Chinese or it's a Western or it's like back in time. I absolutely would love that.
Yeah, and that brings up, several fans have asked about what projects do you have going on, and we've talked about a couple of these in some of the videos, and I know you have a traditional Western, you have there's a couple of you have the Huntress in the works, and you just did something today, which may be on El Rey that's coming up. So maybe you can share a little bit about what's going on.
Yeah, I just did. There'll be an episode on me on El Rey coming up. And I also have a movie that I'll be shooting in Algeria that's coming up. Right now, everything is kind of on hold because of the COVID-19 virus. And, Americans can't really travel. So I'm not sure when that will be. But a lot of exciting things coming up. We just got to get back to a healthy, safe environment.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think 2021 is when we'll see. And, really to clarify to everyone, because they say, please make some more movies. You've never stopped making movies. So there's still movies in the works.
I did. Sometimes you don't get, they don't do that many, so
Right.
it's like, hey, if it's there. And actually, I just did another thing that was funny. It's called New York Ninja. I think we mentioned it before. It was like, they found this old a movie from the 80s, I guess 80s or maybe even prior to that. And there was no sound, but it was shot in English, and they had no script. So someone bought it, and they wrote the script just by looking at what they were doing and looking at the mouth and tried to work it. And they have me playing the lead female, and Don Wilson is playing the lead male. So you'll see this kind of old type of action movie. It was action. The action was pretty funny, right? But you have our voices on.
Well,
So,
it's payback because all those times that they've dubbed your voice.
yeah, so I think it's going to be a kick just to watch it. Yeah, I'm dubbing someone else's voice, so that's funny.
Yeah. Next question is from Marvelous Music. And what are your thoughts on Bruce Lee?
Oh, I think Bruce Lee was one of a kind. I actually was familiar with Jackie Chan a little bit than Bruce Lee, but when I saw Enter the Dragon, I think, so many people try to copy Bruce Lee, like his movement, his words, his action, and you just can't. Bruce Lee was not only a phenomenal martial artist and very powerful, but he had a screen charisma that nobody could learn. He just had it. So when he was on screen, you loved him. You liked watching his fighting. And I don't think there'll never be another Bruce Lee. He was one in a kind.
Well, I think that a lot of people say that about you. There'll never be another Cynthia Rothrock either. You came up through the same.
I don't think the world could have two Cynthia Rothrock.
All right. The next question's from Landry in Buckham, and it says, "Did you ever compete with or do anything with Kathy Long? I just remember seeing you a lot of you and her in magazines back in the day, and I know that you actually did a movie without fighting with her. It's called Santa's Summer House."
Yeah, I did. I did some seminars with Kathy, and we traveled to France together and did some like demonstrations on our own. I never saw her fight when I was competing professionally. She wasn't at those competitions, So I don't know what era she fought, but I never saw her fight. But same as you, I would see her until I met her, and we became friends. And she's a phenomenal martial artist, and really got to know her well. We shot Santa's Summer House together, and it was kind of interesting because they called me first to play her part, the part that she played, and I had a conflict with another commitment, so I had to turn it down. And I said to my daughter, I said, "Oh, I read the script, I can't do it." I said, "But I really would love to play Mrs. Claus." And she looks at me and she's like, "Are you crazy? Why would Mrs. Claus?" Right? I said, "Yeah, I just would love to play that." So this project that I was going to do kind of fell through, so I called them up and I said, "Hey, I could do the movie now." And they said, "Oh, we already gave that part to Kathy Long, but you could play Mrs. Claus." And I was like, "Oh my God, yes, I would love to." And the director was like, "Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Santa having a younger, hotter wife." And I was like, "Yeah, very cool." So that came about, and we had a great time. Gary Daniels was also in that film, and Daniel Bernhardt, and it was funny because it was all martial artists, but none of us did any fighting. So the theme was even the toughest people still love Christmas.
Yeah, and one of the great things about that film is it's got a really good message to it, and you can also see you with a plate of cookies and milk.
Yes, you mean as Mrs. Claus.
Right. But it was a really well done movie, and good to watch either in the summer or at the holiday time. So it's got a decent message, which I loved. Next question, came from Mike McWong, and he wants to know where was the movie Shanghai Express or Millionaire's Express shot? I was born in Hong Kong, but I do not recall anywhere that there was a sandy beach terrain. So where did Sammo Hung have you shooting that movie?
We shot two locations. We shot in Hong Kong, and we also shot in Thailand. So the beachy, sandy scene that you see was shot in Phuket, actually.
Oh, awesome. So, yeah, and there's also another video up. There's a whole backstory you've got behind the scenes on Millionaire and Shanghai Express. So check that out.
Right, absolutely. That was a very interesting movie to shoot and a lot of behind the scenes stories.
And Landry and Buckham, he wants to know, because of the weight your name carries in the martial arts, would you have you ever been challenged on a set or fought with a stuntman or actor that you felt was trying to prove something, or maybe even caused slight harm to you? But I know you had some payback on by accident when some guy hit you with a sword in the face, and later on, I think you accidentally tagged him.
Well, three times. Three times. Once was in an airport in Indonesia. You can hear my little dog in the background trying to steal the screen. So that's her. Once someone came up to me in an airport and they were like, wanting to hit me. And, I just kind of like looked at them. And then, the people I were with like ushered him away. And the second time was, I think I was in Thailand and I was doing an interview for a radio show. And actually not a radio show, it was a TV show. And they wanted me to fight the girl that was the current champion there. So when we choreographed something, and when they said action, she didn't do any of the choreography. She just wanted to hit me and fight me. What she really wanted was to say Cynthia Rothrock isn't real, and look at our girl, can beat her. Well, the minute I realized what she was doing, I hit her in the head with a roundhouse kick and she went down. And then she realized, okay, I'm not going to take that kind of crap, I know what you're doing. And one time I was fighting with someone on the set that tried to hit me a little hard. And I, when you feel that, you just hit back harder. And then they go, okay, I'm not going to do it. But that was only like 3 experiences and so many opportunities.
Well, so yeah, there's a little bit of action behind the scenes on some of those movies and out in public too. Well, don't challenge you, right? That's the thing.
I'll tell you a funny story. We were shooting Sworn to Justice, and Alan Woodman, he's a great friend of mine right now, but he played Artie One Eye. And the director said, put a pad on your chest. And he's like, nah, I don't need a pad. Cynthia can't hit me that hard. And he was kind of a little cocky at the time to everybody, and everybody was kind of getting a little fed up with him, right? So I'm not sure what he did. He did something like maybe tagged me and hit me during a scene, right? So people said, kick him a little bit harder with the side kick, he didn't put the pad on. And I was like, okay. So I kicked him with the side kick, and I put in maybe about 40% power, right? So it's still strong, but not that hard. But hard if you don't have a pad on. And it knocked him back. He fell over the chain on the floor, and then the whole crew started cheering and laughing, and the director was like, cut, no, stop. And he's like, excuse me, can I have a pad, please?
Never, that's it. Be careful what you don't ask for, because you do need that pad.
He learned, yes, I can hit quite hard.
You were trained in Hong Kong. All right, so next question is from Richard Taylor. He says, could you talk a little bit about the fight scene from Inspector Wears Skirts? You haven't done the backstory on that, and that'll be coming up, but, could you share a little bit about the fight Eagle Claw scene with the amazing blonde guy, which is actually referring to as Jeff Falcon, who was also in Prince of the Sun and Lady Reporter. And he said he fights monkey style. I believe that you fight eagle style, and it's rarely used in your films. So could you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I studied Eagle Claw in Chengdu, China, and I also studied Jing Jiao Pai in New York with Shen Liang. So I did know a lot of Eagle Claw. The reason you don't see it a lot is because a lot of the choreographers just didn't want it. When I go and do films, it's not like, hey, let me do my own movements and choreograph the whole fight scenes. There's another choreographer that's doing it. And usually, if they don't know a style like that, Eagle Claw, they can't really coordinate it, So you did see it in Hong Kong, because in Hong Kong, they knew Eagle. You see, at times I fought in praying mantis. I did snake in some. So it all depends on the choreography, but it's really interesting because, you get to fight traditional style with traditional style, and I really love that, being a traditionalist Chinese stylist.
Awesome. And last one is from Johnny Russell, and he said, "I was wondering when you worked on the movie with Corey Haim, was he a good guy?" And several fans have asked about Corey Haim, and that was in where you played Lily, and that was what you have two movies.
Yes, Fast Getaway
And
1 and 2.
right? And then
Yes.
you had dragged him on a truck while you're fighting on the back of the pickup truck, and he's on the fence dragging behind that thing. But yeah, what was
Yeah.
he like? I guess behind the scenes.
Well, Corey was about 18 or 19 at that time, so he was young, and I just remember him telling me, saying, "How do you think I feel? I'm like 18, and I support my whole family." At that time he was an established star. He was a professional. When he came on to act, he was just so good, and at times he was very beyond his years, and then at times he was a typical 18-year-old. And I remember we were doing this scene, and Lily had heels on, and she had to stomp him in the chest, and he didn't want to put a pad on. I don't know what it is with these guys. They don't want to wear a pad. And I told him, I said, put a pad on, because even if I just tap you a little bit, that piercing heel is going to hurt, because he wasn't a fighter, he wasn't an action star. So usually you really want to take care of the actor if they don't really know anything. So I did it, and I just lightly tapped him, and everything was fine. Then the next day we go to set, and he's not there. And the producer comes running up to me and says, "Cynthia, what'd you do? What'd you do?" I said, "What? What do you mean?" He said, "You punctured Corey's lung." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, when you did that kick, you punctured his lung." I'm like, "Oh my God, I did not. That would have to go right through, you know what I mean, his bones and hit his lung." And so they called off the shoot for the day, right? So I'm going, "Oh my God, I have to find him. People are thinking I'm the cause of this." So then I go back, and I hear this music, and I look, and there's Corey with his little boom box at the time, and he's dancing. And I said, "Corey," I said, "Oh my God, they're saying I punctured your lung," which is ridiculous. He goes, "Oh yeah, no, I'm fine." He goes, "I just didn't want to work today."
So he's a little bit of a jokester behind there.
Oh yeah, yes he was. Yeah, but great guy, phenomenal actor. Very sad that we lost him like so soon, because I think he was great, and he would have went on to be even a greater actor.
Yeah.
I kind of thought of him as almost like a Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that wraps up the questions for this session. We're going to have more, so keep those questions coming. Just post them in the comments. We are reviewing all of those, and you also pull the comments, and you'll respond to a lot of the people. So for your fans out there, so keep the comments and questions coming.
Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. Thanks for all the support. We appreciate it. And also, we have the new biography made by the Martial Art History Museum. If you ever get a chance to go to Burbank, California, go and check it out. It's a great place, and they put this together, and I watched it for the first time, and I was like, wow, that's really, really great. They really covered a lot from when I was young to current. So if you get a chance, you want to pick it up, you can pick it up at my website, CynthiaRothrock.com. So again, thanks. Stay safe out there. Stay positive. Be happy. And we'll see you on the next one. Hi, this is Cynthia Rothrock. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel. And if you like the videos, please put a like on it and refer it to your friends.